Mortgage interest rates in the United States have experienced significant fluctuations since 1950, influenced by various economic factors. This video was brought to you by the Tom Brady team at Vintage American Realty. While specific data for Long Island isn't readily available, national trends provide a useful context for understanding the historical landscape of mortgage rates. 1950s post-war stability. In the 1950s, mortgage rates were relatively stable and low, averaging around 4%. This period was characterized by strong economic growth and low inflation following World War II. 1960s, gradual increase. During the 1960s, rates began to rise gradually, reaching approximately 7% by the end of the decade. This increase was influenced by moderate economic growth and rising inflation. 1970s, sharp escalation. The 1970s saw a sharp escalation in mortgage rates, peaking at 12.9% in 1979. Factors such as oil price shocks and expansionary monetary policies contributed to this rise. 1980s, record highs and decline. Mortgage rates reached an all-time high in October 1981, averaging 18.63%. This was due to the Federal Reserve's efforts to combat high inflation. By the end of the decade, rates had fallen to around 9%. 1990s, stabilization. In the 1990s, rates stabilized, starting the decade at about 10% and gradually decreasing to around 6.94% by 1998. This decline was supported by low inflation and strong economic growth. 2000s, decline and crisis. The early 2000s experienced a steady decline in rates, with averages around 6.41% in 2006. However, the 2008 financial crisis led to a significant drop, with rates averaging 5.04% in 2009. 2010s, historic lows. The 2010s saw rates reaching historic lows, averaging 3.65% in 2016. This was influenced by the Federal Reserve's policies and a low inflation environment. 2020s, recent trends. In early 2021, rates hit a record low of 2.65% in January. However, by October 2023, they had risen to 7.79%, reflecting economic recovery and inflation concerns. These national trends offer a general perspective on mortgage rates that would have affected homebuyers in Long Island over the decades. Local factors, such as regional economic conditions and housing market dynamics, would also play a role in the specific rates available to Long Island homebuyers. This video was brought to you by the Tom Brady team at Vintage American Realty.